Welcome back to the Real Estate 401k Show. I'm your host, Mike Weinstein, alongside Justin Frederick and Ryan Gerdes. Happy April, everybody.
Yeah.
Baseball season.
Yeah, we got the D-backs.
I know. I was trying
Let's
to
go.
rep
Start off as 0-3 against the Dodgers. I mean, gosh. And every game, it looked like there was hope.
Yeah, well, I mean, Dodgers are going to be another big contender this year.
Of course they are.
I don't
There's so much money in that.
I don't know how they're not going to at least go to the World Series. You know, so long as they're healthy, it's going to happen.
All right. Well, we're not here to talk baseball. We can. That's not why we're here. You're going to want to text the word price to 623-AZRECON. That's price to 623-AZRECON. Pricing matters when you're selling your home. And a lot of people are seeing a lot of homes on the market for 100+ days and don't understand why their home isn't selling. And we're working with some clients right now. They picked a home in Litchfield Park, and their biggest question was, why has this house been on the market for 130 days? What's wrong? What am I not seeing? And I said, well, I'll call the agent. I'll see what the agent has to say, because there was no record it was ever under contract. And the agent basically just said, yeah, it's just really slow. And so got back to our clients saying that it might be a little bit of an element of incompetency here. It's not that the market's slow, it's just priced too high. And whether the sellers are stubborn or the listing agent just is completely mismanaged the seller's expectations, at the end of the day, it was priced too high, and we came in considerably off that list price, and here we are.
Yeah, I mean, everything can sell right away if the price is right. There are some elements out there that do suggest that even if you're priced accurately, not necessarily below, but just priced accurately, that there's data that's going to say that you're going to sit. Case in point, we got one that's on a major road, and even if it was a home that they were giving away for $1, there's just some buyers out there that are like, okay, I'm not gonna live on a major road.
Hold on, I'm reaching into my pocket for $1.
Yeah, I got a
I'll
buck
take
too.
it right now.
I got $2.
Yeah, but they're not going to live there. You're not going to live there.
Right, that's a fact.
Is the moral of the story. And so, while all of the feedback is like, hey, home is priced accurately, it's just buyers not willing to be on a major road. And then there's everything else in between. So, what I think we're trying to get down to is, if your home is sitting, is it a question of value, or is it a question of the market? And one of the conversations I have with every single one of our sellers is, you only have 3 things that you can control as a seller. Number 1, pricing, and that's probably the biggest determining factor, the biggest controlling factor that you can control. The next one is showability. Some of these folks will say, oh, well, the house is great, but then they have a bunch of clutter all over the place. I mean, the home could be in fantastic condition, but you got to know that, particularly when you're in a buyer's market, there's going to be a ton of competition.
Right.
And so you might even be priced $10,000 below your competition, or 5% below your competition. But if they're going and they're looking at 10 properties and comparing apples to apples, if you have clutter all over the place, or if you're maybe not the cleanest person, or you got dogs all over the all these things that can be contributing factors to the showability of the property, then you could be hurting yourself, or you could be setting yourself apart from the competition, and it could potentially be selling more than what the home is actually valued at. And number 3 is availability. If you are not able to be fluid enough to show your property with an hour's notice in this market, then you're causing yourself a whole lot of stress. If someone drives by a sign, or if they're out with their agent looking around and they say, oh, you know what, this one just popped up on Zillow the other day and kind of caught our eye, but we already had these 5 other homes or 4 other homes in our docket to go look at. But since we're here, see if we can pop in there when we're done with these 4 other showings, and the agent reaches out to your agent and says, oh, hey, we're in the area, can we swing by in an hour? And you say no, because you're not able to get the house show ready within an hour or 2. then you're hurting yourself.
Yeah.
Like, so those are the three things that you can control. So the suggestion I always give is price accurately, and for us, I would say price it just a hair below what the market will bear.
When you say a hair, what's a hair
so-
like? If we're talking like a $650,000 house,
All right, so
and
good.
it's valued at that.
So good question. You have to understand the culture of buyers. So if you could get it to appraise for top dollar at like 650, but it's probably worth more like 635.
Okay.
Then the next pool of buyers is going to be probably at 625 or sub 6.
Okay.
Okay. So if you try to go, okay, well, it's worth 635, let's price it at 630, you're not doing yourself any favors. You need to get to that next increment, because when buyers are getting pre-qualified, as you know, at that echelon, they're usually going in about $25,000 to $50,000 increments.
Yep.
They're not going to say, okay, well, I'm approved for another 5,000. You know,
Right.
they're going to go in those types of increments. So just understanding that culture of how buyers are searching for properties.
That makes complete sense.
So I would go 624.9 or whatever, just so I can get sub that 625 and get some good activity going based on price. Showability, details matter. They want it to smell good. They want it to feel good. They want it to look good. Mr. Paint Job is going to be the best salesperson for any of that. So get rid of all this. Go ahead and start moving. If you're not touching it every single day, get it the hell out of there. If it's anything personal hanging up on the walls,
Poor Christine.
get it down. Whoa. Damn. I guess I'm moving out.
He was talking about Christine.
I'm done talking.
You said all that you need to say.
Yeah. If you have personal pictures sitting up in the living room, master bedroom is kind of the only kind of neutral zone if you want to have stuff like that, in my personal opinion. But of course, if it's done tastefully, then there's some flexibility there. But start getting stuff moved out. You're not going to be using it all the time anyhow. You're not really going to miss it. Those are just kind of the extra little amenities in life that you like to keep around. And then the the availability element of it. We have a system that we use called Align and Showing Time, where agents can go on there and see the calendar of what's available in order for showings. And I want to be able to put it in what's called show and go status. That means that the moment that they request a showing, they immediately get approved. That's not a real world, right? Like, I understand, like, if you work from home or something like that, you can't get out at a moment's notice if you're on a Zoom call or whatever. But you need to know that the longer requirements you have on that, the more you're hurting yourself. And so if you do work from home and you're wanting to sell your home, maybe go rent some office space during the time that it's on the market, so that you don't need to be at home, so that you can leave your home open for it. And those pets, you've got to figure out a contingency plan to get pets out of there, so that people can go in there and show and enjoy the home and picture themselves living there.
Yeah.
And those are the three controls.
Yeah, I showed a property in New River a couple months ago, and so we're up there, and so I'm in the backyard, and I'm walking around to the side, and I jumped. It was two of the biggest, fattest pigs you'd ever seen.
Cool.
But it made me jump, right? And
Yeah.
they just wanted to play or eat me.
Yeah.
Not sure which one.
Yep.
But then when you go around to the other side, you see a ramp that goes into a doggy door into one of the bedrooms. And now they kept, the house was clean.
Yeah.
But I'm like, okay, those pigs are spending the night in the house.
Yep.
We're out. But I do think, Justin, I think condition is everything. This is not 01, 02 where everything's above asking price, waiving contingencies, waiving appraisals, and all that sort of thing. Your worst enemy out there is the Zestimate. And there is, in my opinion, there is no single system out there that could instantly tell you how much your house is worth. It takes me, if I'm really wanting to get down to the nitty gritty, it could take me up to 30 minutes to just narrow it down and say, okay, this is what this house.
And you're experienced.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And so just because the house down the street sells for X, you can't assume yours is worth X. If you're thinking about listing a home, go into every single open house every single weekend. Check out what your neighbors' homes look like. If you have a listing agent and it's not us, have your listing agent go and show you listings in the neighborhood, even though you're not buying them, but just to go in and see how your house compares.
See your competition. Yeah, absolutely. And I got to say that I agree. Showability right now is such a big deal, especially like Ryan was saying earlier. It's a buyer's market, and I think you got to understand that. There's so many options out there. You got to see what the competition is offering because, 6 years ago, 7 years ago, you walk into a house, you love it, you're putting an offer in, you don't have time to go out and see the other houses before that home's going to be swooped up. Now there's so many options. There's a lot sitting around that you can wheel and deal with. Take off those check marks or the things that aren't checking the box the best you can, and get that house ready to show. Put some candles on or whatever.
Yeah. And you were already talking about technology, and so I'll give you guys a cheat code right now because there's no way technology is ever going to replace us. There's no way that they're going to be able to negotiate. There's no way that they're going to have the bandwidth. There's no way that they're going to have the network. And there's no way that they're going to have the resources that we have in order to get a full-on retail buyer in front of you as a seller. But go ahead and take a video of your house and go through everything, the good, the bad, the ugly, and then walk over to all the comps, take a video of all of that, upload it into ChatGPT, and that is going to give you a hell of a lot more accurate response than some Zillow's estimate or whatever.
Yeah.
But like if that's the type of seller you are, great. Then that's probably going to be the most accurate way in order to ascertain value. If you have questions about value and don't want to talk to us or don't want to talk to an agent just yet or whatever, I've seen a lot of people do that, and actually, it's not a bad starting point, and we've seen some good baselines coming from it. But it's obviously there's going to be a bunch of intangibles that it's not going to be able to pick up. It's not going to be able to tell you whether or not it's there's been a smoker in the house for 10 years. It's not going to tell you whether or not it has bad odor from pets or the life of the roof or the condition of the water heater. It's not going to be able to tell you all of that, which is going to surface during an inspection period. And if there's a professional that you're working with, they're going to be able to spot a lot of those red flags as well.
Well, speaking of technology too, good luck in understanding and decoding serial numbers on HVAC systems and water heaters. So now I just simply take a picture of the serial number, throw it into ChatGPT. Yep. It starts off by telling me how to read the serial number. I'm like, no. I want to get down to the year.
You tell me.
I asked you what time it is. Don't tell me how to build a clock.
Yeah.
All
right. Well, we were talking about pricing your home properly. If you'd like some more information and help in determining the right price for your home, go ahead and text the word price to 623-AZRECON. That's price to 623-AZRECON. I want to end just talking about also the experience of the agent that you are working with. In this market, in my opinion, if you're thinking about selling your home and you're interviewing agents, or your daughter just got her real estate license, or Aunt Ethel just got her real estate license, I think one, you got to start with, how many homes have you sold? Mm-hmm. How many homes have you sold within the last 12, 24 months? But going back to that availability, so the story that I started off with, as far as being overpriced, it was also one of those scenarios, to your point, where the couple both work from home. Incredibly difficult to get a showing request approved. And so then I just had to resort to good old-fashioned picking up the phone, calling the agent, texting the agent, calling the agent, texting the agent. Your agent needs to be available too.
I have a great story.
But I was going to say, That's why the house has been on the market for
Yeah.
130 days, in my opinion.
Yeah, I have another great story about inexperienced agents. This just happened. We just closed the loan last week. Actually, it was the 27th. But listing agent was inexperienced, buyer's agent inexperienced. $775,000 purchase price in a desired neighborhood. Buyer comes to me, is like, man, we're gonna put in an offer on this home. I don't know why it's been sitting there so long. My agent said that there's been no offers put in on it. I talked to the agent on the phone. He was definitely very new. They submitted the offer. I called the listing agent. Listing agent, very new, obviously, had never heard from a lender before. Talked through some things. Didn't know what an LSU was. Told her we send out LSUs, but did the appraisal on the home. Obviously, I'm just sitting in an office. Did the appraisal on the home. Appraisal comes back $50,000 low. Buyer's agent told me, I don't understand. I comped this out. It was good. It was a 2-story home. They were comping it against single
level homes.
Single level homes. And so they wanted to do a reconsideration of value. They sent in the comps. Comps were all single levels. And I told them, I'm like, I'll submit this in, but these are going to be thrown out. Submitted it. Appraiser gets back to us in less than 12 hours with his rebuttal. Totally just shoots down all their comps. Now that's levels on both ends. That could have maybe appraised for less. Maybe the appraiser was trying to push it high for them. But that just tells me right there, what a big deal. That property was sitting for a long time, didn't have any showings. The buyer's agent took him there, didn't try to negotiate on the price because he saw the value in the property comparing against single level properties. Didn't go in and tried to bid on a multi-story property. Such a big deal when you're dealing with experienced agents to somebody that doesn't have that experience.
Yeah.
And those are little things that can make a big difference to me.
Rookie mistake.
Yeah.
I'm going to take it to the other opposite end of the spectrum. We recently had an experience with a very experienced agent. She's been in the business for decades, and so experienced that her hubris got the best of her. So we went over there. Clients were interested in the property, made an offer, struck a deal on that front, went through the inspection process, and the roof was just old. They knew that it had never been replaced. They knew that there was no work that had been done on it, and the roof was about 25, 30 years old. Our inspector goes over there and says, roof is on its last leg. I mean, this thing is peeling up. It's separating. It's in shambles.
And there's bird shit all underneath the solar panels.
Yeah, there's clear red flags everywhere. And then other roofer goes over there, says, yes, I'm surprised that this thing hasn't fallen off the substrate. And so we said, hey, look, we're still in it, but your seller needs to compensate us for the roof so that we can get the roof replaced. And she says, well, in all my years, I've never heard of, there's no roof leaks, this and that. And I was just like, well, we don't get rain here. You know what I mean? There's clear evidence here that this thing is shot. It's not even on its last leg. That last leg is crippled. Like what are we talking about here? And you're trying to, use your solid sales strategies in order to, represent your client, which ended up being her daughter, come to find out.
Yep.
So it's just like, it's like, okay, you definitely want experience, but you don't want someone who's such a dinosaur that thinks that they know it all and are willing to overlook actual evidence. We weren't talking smack about the property. We weren't saying anything. We weren't saying
These are facts.
Yeah, these are just the facts. And you know what? Things get old. That's okay. Right? Like nothing, there's not one material thing out there or biological thing out there that's going to live forever. Sometimes things just need to be repaired or replaced. Not that big a deal. They refused to move on from it. So we said, all right, we're just going to cancel on this thing, go find a better opportunity here with somebody who's willing to actually read the data and absorb it. So it can hurt on both ends of the spectrum, and I get humbled all the time. Sometimes I get in my own way, and And so I have to be put in check on those fronts, and I try to make sure I learn from it.
Yeah. I'll just end with this. So going back to my original story about, it wasn't available and the whole thing. And we sent in an offer considerably lower than list price. They didn't counter.
I've had that before too.
They're like, well, just smart agent at that point. Let's just take the deal. Well, if you're thinking about selling your home and you're concerned about pricing your property right, we've got the experience and the knowledge to be able to help you do that for free. All you got to do is text the word price to 623 AZRECON. That's price to 623 AZRECON.